Alright, what's going on, guys? So, Treyarch revealed Season 2 and, of course, the new Outbreak mode coming to zombies, and there are a ton of things that are changing that are going to be complete meta shifts for zombies like we've never seen before yet in Cold War. We have an unbelievable amount of adjustments and big changes coming to zombies, so we're going to discuss everything you need to know about Outbreak as well as everything else that's changing within the game. If you guys do enjoy today's video and are excited for Season 2, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, as around 14% of you guys are now currently subscribed, but there's still a fair portion that isn't. So if you'd like to join the absolute elite club, then make sure to go and do that. It's only one click away. Cannot thank you guys enough for continuing to support the channel. It's only up from here, and I'm looking forward to getting started in our journey. But before we get into all of the juicy details about Season 2 for zombies, I would like to take a minute and quickly thank today's sponsor of the video. This video is sponsored by Surfshark. This is a wonderful VPN service with many features that are incredibly easy to use. Surfshark will keep all of your personal information away from nerdy hackers who are out to get all of your info that they can use at their discretion. In fact, you don't want anybody at all stealing your personal info. And you know who's not a nerd? This guy, because he has Surfshark VPN, which allows him to also appear completely anonymously with data that's completely protected and can appear from literally anywhere he wants to in the entire world. Currently, Surfshark has over 3,200 servers in 65 different countries, and that's a lot of countries. Besides keeping just your personal data safe, you can also use it for more practical reasons like unlocking Netflix in different regions or unblocking YouTube videos that are only available in certain countries as well. Surfshark keeps your information protected from tall buildings, the government, and spiders, and so you can also use this on all platforms currently with unlimited devices. So download Surfshark VPN today. The link is in the description. Use code CHOPPER with a British 0 to get 83% off and 3 months free of Surfshark VPN. So Treyarch revealed a lot of information about how Outbreak works. This has been the mode that's been on everybody's minds and is quite elusive as far as anything to compare it to. We've had nothing like it in the past for zombies, and the only thing to really conceptualize it right now is just a large-scale zombies experience. But thankfully, we do have some details on how it works straight from Treyarch themselves, so I'm going to read out how they describe Outbreak. The next chapter of the Dark Aether story takes the Agents of Requiem deep into the hearts of Russia, where they'll fight to survive against their greatest challenges yet. Welcome to Outbreak, an entirely new, large-scale zombies experience unlike any other. As Requiem continues to fall behind in the arms race against Omega Group, various regions in the Ural Mountains have recently become Dark Aether outbreak sites, with new opportunities to research the Dark Aether and advance Requiem's agenda. It's up to you and 3 fellow agents to complete the deadly experiments that few have survived. Outbreak takes place across massive play spaces throughout the Ural Mountains, packed with new enemies, team objectives, player rewards, and intel to discover on foot, in vehicles, or by jump pads. Whether it's hunting down elite enemies using a satellite tracker, escorting a rover that detects dimensional portals, or holding out against zombies in a confined Dark Aether zone, Agents of Requiem will need to complete these investigations before they can exfil, or risk entering a Dark Aether portal to a new region for even more rewards. Now, that description's all well and good, but we've got to make sense of what we just read. So what does that mean fundamentally for how the gameplay of Outbreak is going to operate? Well, I think it's safe to assume it's going to be pretty traditional zombies as far as some of these survival elements go, and a lot of like Easter egg concept steps where maybe you're holding out an objective or you need to escort something without it taking too much damage. An amalgamation of all of the best iterations and like most fun concepts in zombies should be integrated into this large scale map. Again, it's not entirely open world, and I don't think it's best to look at it through that lens. They also mentioned it's up to you and 3 fellow agents to complete these deadly experiments. So while the map is going to be pretty large scale, it doesn't appear that it's going to be any more amount of players than a regular zombies game. I don't know if there's going to be multiple squads running in the same world, so like you and your team, and then there's like other teams going around the map and doing their things as well. I think that would get a little bit messy and hard to track, so I'm just going to assume that it's still a 4-player game. Something really interesting they mentioned is you can continue to do objectives and gather more rewards and then exfil. So I assume that if you exfil after doing a certain number of objectives, you'll probably get some extra things like crystals that we'll talk about in just a minute. There are new crystals being introduced, and we'll get to that, so stick around in the video. But it almost sounds like, in a way, it's kind of like a gambling game where you can continue to do objectives as long as you want, but if you fail an objective or if you happen to die, then you lose all of the like potential rewards you could have gotten. However, if you exfil and play it safe, then you get to keep everything, but obviously you forgo all of the better rewards rewards that you could have gotten if you had continued to play. Some of the objectives they've already shown and mentioned are hunting down elite enemies using a satellite tracker. So there are devices that you need to use and find these things. You need to escort a rover that detects dimensional portals. And so you can see that there are a ton of returning things, albeit slightly different from older zombie games, like the Panzer's returning. There's like a smaller Nikolai mech suit with a zombie in it, and even the Dreisendrach dragon. So all of these like mechanics that Treyarch has played with in the past will probably make a return in somehow in this game mode. This mode will have drivable vehicles as well, jump pads included, and pretty much anything we can think of as far as transportation, and then obviously portals. Now, what's interesting is we've never really had any truly drivable vehicle in Zombies before, hardly at all, so I don't know how that's going to play. The map is evidently large enough where you would want to consider using a vehicle. You won't want to be on foot all the time from what it sounds like, so whatever the best method of transportation is, I'm sure will vary depending on scenario to scenario. It appears that there's going to be some massive boss fights as well. Now, as far as the structure, it looks like Outbreak generally is going to have like one, on the rails sort of objective completion task where it tells you kind of what to do, but I would also assume it's going to have a lot of side Easter eggs that we can't even begin to think about how they work until we actually get our hands on the game. So it looks like one, main objective that is told to you what to do, and it kind of guides you along in the gameplay loop, but there are probably many side Easter eggs that we need to go and hunt for ourselves that are not straight up told to the player. Now, when Outbreak releases, obviously we're going to have all of the current specialist abilities that we do have, but we are getting a brand new one as well, a new field upgrade called Frenzied Guard. And a lot of you who have watched my videos recently will know that I pretty much thought that this one was scrapped from the game and it was cut, and that's only like halfway true. Frenzied Guard is returning to the game, to my surprise, but it doesn't behave how it used to. So basically the idea for Frenzied Guard was it works like the Now You See Me Gobblegum from Black Ops 3, where it makes all of these zombies and enemies track towards one specific player. And obviously it's pretty useless, right? If you think about it in any context, it wouldn't be that good of a field upgrade at all, but it is completely changing now. Activating Frenzied Guard still will have the effect of making all these zombies target you for a brief period of time, but only your armor will take damage. And this is sort of like Frontline from World War II zombies, I believe. And so if you are, getting surrounded, you can pop this and it will only make your armor take damage, giving you the last couple seconds you might need to get out of a situation. It even has its own upgrade tiers where some of the modifiers it can have is repairing all of your armor upon activation, increasing its duration to 15 seconds for the effect, and even slowing all normal enemies' walk speed while it's active. So pretty much like Frontline from World War II. And again, probably as a solo thing, I don't believe this is going to be the most effective field upgrade to have. I still think Ring of Fire or even Ether Shroud are probably just going to be more practical and useful, but it is kind of cool to see that this is going to be at least a new addition to the meta. Now, Frenzied Guard, along with other features in the game, are going to have its traditional 3 upgrade tiers that you can use your crystals on, but it's going to have even more beyond upgrade tiers as well, and we're going to talk about that in just a second because that is a big major change. But before we take that apart, we have a new ammo mod to talk about called Shatter Blast. So this ammo mod is going to work in a pretty unique way. Now, the only thing to really compare it to, there is a custom zombies perk called Vigor Rush, and it's basically stopping power / FMJ for your bullets and zombies. Now, it has a chance of your regular bullets to cause explosive damage, and according to Treyarch, this is going to be most effective against armored enemies, so like the heavy ones, for example, or even like the Mangler or the Panzer inside of the Outbreak mode itself. So it looks like this is going to be, at least from what I can tell right now, far and away the most useful ammo mod to run. It looks like after you upgrade it, it's pretty much just going to simply help you deal more damage. So as far as I'm concerned, this is probably going to be the best ammo mod to use, or if you're using Elemental Pop, it's going to help it be that much more effective as well. I'm interested to compare it to the other ammo mods when it does arrive in the game, and I will be doing some testing, so make sure to stick around for that. It also has its own tier tree, which when you continue to upgrade it in the skills menu, it can have all explosives deal damage to nearby enemies. It can knock down normal enemies or double their size for an even bigger bang. Again, this does sound like a really sick ammo mod. I'm gonna have to see how knocking down the normal enemies performs in game. That's the only one that's got me a little bit worried. I don't know if I'd even like that, but again, I will do some testing when it does arrive. Now, here's for some of the big meta changing stuff. There are 2 new skill tiers coming to literally everything. I'm gonna assume, ammo mods, weapons, perks, all that. We are getting tier 4 and tier 5 things, and this is something we talked about a long time ago with refined and flawless Ethereum crystals. A lot of people thought, including myself for a little bit, that maybe this was cut from the game because we weren't, we had no idea when we were going to see this, but this is actually being introduced now. And so unfortunately, we don't have every detail on how this is going to work right now. They're going to be releasing an entirely separate article about this apparently very soon, but everything is now going to have a tier 4 and tier 5 upgrade, but you need different crystals to do so. And they mentioned that you can get high rounds in traditional zombies maps, or you can do like multiple outbreak investigations in a single run to get a chance at getting some of these new crystals. Now, when it comes to perks and having these extra upgrade tiers, I don't know how they're going to balance these perks without making them completely overpowered. I do believe that Juggernog, once it's fully upgraded, the information is right now, it's going to behave very similar to PhD Flopper. Well, it will probably negate explosive damage and splash damage from something like the Ray Gun and also the Ray K and Firebase Z. That's kind of what I'm on track for. Every perk is going to have 2 more upgrade tiers that make it obviously a little bit better than it is currently right now, and all the perks, assuming you have them tier 3, are pretty dang good, although obviously there is room for them to be better. Specifically, Speed Cola is the one that people point out all the time. I'd imagine that once all of the upgrade tiers are finally out for these perks, Speed Cola will probably feel like the old version of it, or how it did in older zombie iterations. Death Machine is also coming to zombies, and I don't know if this is going to be a craftable item or if it's going to be a brand new traditional drop. That one is not clear yet, but I think it's going to be fun to use either way. Also, interestingly, Warzone is getting an Warzone/Outbreak crossover event, so I imagine this is going to be to get Warzone players a little bit more interested in zombies and trying out the Outbreak mode, and thus trying out more traditional zombies elements too. All of the new guns this season are also going to be added to zombies that you can use as a loadout weapon, and I would also assume that all of the multiplayer maps will then become onslaught maps for PlayStation players as well, so have like a little bit more zombies action over there too. It appears we're getting a bunch of new vehicles that will not only be available in the multiplayer game modes, but are primarily going to be used in Outbreak from what it looks like, and so it appears that this season is going to be very heavily zombies themed throughout the entire of this season, even in Warzone. As with every new season, we're also getting 20 new challenges across Warzone, zombies, and multiplayer for everybody to be ready for, so I will make a video regarding those as well. But Outbreak is truly the wild card right now, and it honestly sounds like a ton of fun. I cannot wait to get my hands on it next week, and it is going to be free for everybody to play, and that's a given right now for everything they're releasing, so everybody who owns the game will be able to take part in this. Now, we are also getting a couple new prestige icons, so it appears in the season so far there's going to be 4 new prestiges that you can get to, assuming you've already attained Prestige Master through Season 1, and here are the icons for them. But other than that, those are all of the major changes coming to zombies with Season 2 next week. A huge shift in the meta is coming, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a nice switch up for the game, and so, of course, with every new big content drop, I will be making an ultimate guide for Outbreak, showing you guys how it works and everything, so make sure to subscribe and stick around for that, as the video will be coming out as soon as I can make it. But if you guys did enjoy this video, then be sure to give it a like rating, subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, and I also stream zombies almost every day over on Twitch. I will be streaming Outbreak over there too. Link is in the description. Go drop a follow. But anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next live stream or the next video. Take it easy, everybody. I gotta go, and peace out.